What is going on, Internet? Another video coming at you from the Washington Football Report. This is JD. We're going to dive into this. No product plugs today. I'm going to talk about football. I'm going to talk about this game, talk about my frustrations, not only with the team, but I'm going to talk about my frustrations with fellow fans. First off, game reaction. Defense, for the most part, actually didn't look too bad, other than like 4 plays. But most football games come down to 4 to 5 plays being the determining factor of a game, and our defense picked the wrong times to screw up. They really did. A lot of people are talking about Taylor Heinicke, and listen, I'm going to be very clear on this. Anyone who's listening who thinks Taylor Heinicke is the problem with our team right now, let's be logical real quick, okay? Is Taylor Heinicke a franchise quarterback? Probably not. He's probably not, okay? He might be able to win you games. I think he can play well enough, but he also had offensive linemen out. He had a lot of injuries out, receivers out, whatever. Hold on, I'm taking a drink of my drink. But we can win with him. We 100% can win football games with Taylor Heinicke, okay? That can happen. That wasn't the case last year. Taylor Heinicke can put up enough points for our team to win, and if the defense can just hold them like 20. That's all we need from a quarterback. Last year we couldn't do that. Last year our defense could hold some teams to 20, and our offense couldn't score enough points. That was the problem we had. This year it's reversed. Now our offense can score 20, 30 points if need be, and our defense can't stop anyone. If you think Taylor Heinicke is a problem, that's fine. But the issue I have with it is how much people are just bitching and whining and moaning like fucking little children on Twitter that we need to get rid of him. Okay, listen, if finding a quarterback was easy, everyone would have a franchise quarterback. If it was that easy, everyone would have a franchise quarterback. Okay? Ron tried this offseason, trying to get Matt Stafford. Okay? And as it looks right now, trading up in the draft was not the greatest idea. Trevor Lawrence looks okay. Zach Wilson looks all right, but his team's in shambles, so you're not going to get a fair judge of him. Fields does not look good. Trey Lance looks like garbage. The only one that actually looks pretty good is Mac Jones, and that's probably because he's on the best coaching situation you could ever have. Trevor Lawrence probably could be better if he wasn't playing for Urban Meyer right now. Like, Urban Meyer is like lost the entire locker room with what he's done. So, what other option is there out there? I mean, I still say Kyle Trask was a good option. That's just me. And I said we should take him like last pick in the first round, trade back in the first round, get him for a 5th-year option. That was my opinion. But honestly, like it's not so much that it's fine. Taylor Heinicke is not a franchise quarterback. We never anticipated him being. He was just a decent option this year while we're still looking, which is what he is. He still is. He still can score. The offense is doing significantly better this year with him than it ever was last year with Alex Smith, or Dwayne Haskins, or Kyle Allen. Okay, he's an upgrade from that. That's what the point was this year. Both of our quarterbacks, whether it was Ryan Fitzpatrick or Taylor Heinicke, were upgrades. But here's the problem I'm having. What can be fixed right now? Can the quarterback situation be fixed today? Only unless you're trading for Deshaun Watson. Okay, now this is where I'm getting at, where I'm like getting frustrated. And I'm tired of hearing the bitching. This is what I mean by I'm tired of hearing the bitching from people. Is people are talking about how Taylor Heinicke, you need like a franchise quarterback. You can't snap your fucking fingers and go find a quarterback. That's not how it works. Okay? And if it was, a lot more teams would have franchise quarterbacks. That's just not the way it is. The way it is that's what this entire next offseason is going to be about addressing. And hell, for all we know, the rest of the season, Taylor Heinicke, he may look good the rest of the season. And we might actually win games because our defense turns it around. Now, my thing is, what can we fix right now? Can we fix the quarterback situation? No. Aside from a blockbuster trade and getting Deshaun Watson in our building today, and that's assuming he's not going to be suspended or anything. Assuming that, Deshaun Watson's the only way to get a quarterback right now, unless we trade for some other quarterback some other way. But no other team seems to have like a quarterback that they're willing to trade away. At least it doesn't seem like a midseason. Texans are going to take the biggest. If someone gives them what they want for Deshaun Watson, Texans will give him up. And Washington, maybe they'll do that. But what can be fixed right now? Quarterback situation, which I just explained, can't fix it midseason. Or can the defense be fixed midseason? Yeah, defense can be significantly better. If our defense was playing the way it was last year, right now we would be like 4-1, and we'd be one of the better teams in the NFC. Because if we just had, like, I listened to JP Finley in the Washington Football Talk podcast. He literally said, if our defense is just middle of the pack, like top 20, rather than bottom 3, we can do significantly better this year. He wasn't wrong. Like, this team can, if this team just has, like, a top 20 offense, which they're pretty close to it. They run the ball very effective. Taylor Heinicke's throwing for over 250 yards a game just about. If they're throwing for that and they're running the ball more than 100 yards a game, they're going to be a top 20 offense. The offense isn't the problem right now. I know people won't look at it and they look at the interceptions by Taylor and they like to blow it up. But let me just tell you this. Even with Taylor's screw-ups, the defense's job is to stop them from scoring. Okay, and they're failing at that clip. The last 3 games, our defense has given up 4+ touchdowns a game. They give up 4 passing and 1 rushing to Josh Allen. They got 4 passing to Matt Ryan, who sucked. Matt Ryan sucks right now. He's horrible. It all depends on matchups with him, but he is not very good. Well, his talent's not very good around him, to be fair. And then if you look at Jameis Winston got 4 on us. Are you fucking kidding me? Jameis Winston's garbage. Threw the ball 30 times, completed 15 of them. 4 of them were touchdowns. So yeah, Taylor Heinicke's the fucking problem. There are a lot of problems on this team, but it's not Taylor Heinicke. There are a lot of problems on this team. Taylor Heinicke is not the problem. He comes in, he works hard. He may not play the greatest at times, but he does enough for us to win. He did enough for us to win. You take away those 2 big plays, those 2 49+ yard touchdown passes, especially the one at the half, it's a completely different dynamic of this game. We lost 33-22. That's 11 points. 2 touchdowns is worth 14 points in this league. You wipe away those 2 touchdowns, completely different dynamic. We're playing the game very differently. First off, coaching needs to change. The strategy, the offensive play calling needs to change drastically. Scott Turner sucks cock at calling plays. Pardon my French. He sucks. He'll not run the ball for an entire game, and then he'll pick one drive, run the ball every possession, and then he won't run the ball again. And we drove the whole length of the field. Ate up time of clock. We actually won the time of possession this game by 11 minutes. But he just has no understanding of how you call plays to set up other plays. He really, really does not understand that. He does not understand that you call a play to set up another play. You call a run play so that in the future you can call a run play action with the same backfield action, the same lineman action, and you get one-on-one coverage somewhere, and you can burn somebody. That's what you do. He does not do that. Watch his game film. He does not have plays that set up other plays. He just calls plays at random. There's no rhyme or reason for it. He just calls plays at complete freaking random. And the coaching decisions that are being made on this team are just stupid. I'm sorry, they're very stupid. Let me just go over a couple of them. We're up 13-10, I think is what it was, and we're driving, and Taylor Heinicke goes back corner end zone. First off, he should have thrown to the back pylon for a fade, but we're in field goal range. Just get the points. Why are we passing the ball? First off, try to run the ball, for God's sakes. Try to run the ball. We actually have a pretty good offensive line. We actually have a pretty good run blocking offensive line. We may not after this week because we have some injuries. But we actually have a very good offensive line that can block well. We have 3 good running backs. I really do think we have 3 solid running backs. Personal opinion, I really do. I think we have 3 solid running backs that all do everything. 3 things, like they're 3 very different running backs, but for good reasons. And for some reason, we just won't run the ball when we should run the ball. And we'll run stupid reverses when we shouldn't run stupid reverses. And we should just, impose your will on the other team. But we just can't do that for some reason. I can't stand Scott Turner. And I'm starting to really not trust Ron Rivera. So we're late in the fourth quarter. I think it's fourth quarter. It might be early third. And we're going for it it's third down, and third down like 10. And we're going for like a long pass to Terry McLaurin. And it's third and 10. And fourth and 10 rolls around, and we go for it on fourth and 10. Come to find out, wasn't the smartest decision. But this is that Riverboat Ron. Let's roll the dice. And if you knew you were going to go for on fourth down, why wouldn't you go for on third down, go for like a shorter pass to gain some more yards if you knew you were going to go for it on fourth down? Like, you had to have known ahead of time that you were going to go for on fourth down if you didn't get this third down conversion. Which I still don't understand. Why don't you just take the field goal? If you just take the field goal there, that's 25 to, at the time, I don't think it was, I don't think they had 33 at the time. I think they had 25. It was 25 to, it was 22. Yeah, what do they have? 30 maybe? I don't know. They scored a touchdown, so hold on. 7. I don't know. Whatever. They should have just taken the field goal. That's my point I'm getting at. Let's take the field goal. Take the points. Now you're down a touchdown. It's not a big deal. I don't understand that. Why didn't you just take the field goal? But if you're going to go for it on fourth down, why didn't you call a third down play that got you more yards? And explain to Taylor Heinicke, hey, we're going for this on fourth down if we don't get it. So try to get the first down, not the touchdown, not the 30-yard gain. And actually, Taylor Heinicke, as much as you want to say he did, he put the ball in the money. On a lot of times, he put the ball in the money. And I'm not going to blame were some drops. In that play, I'm going to phrase that. He wasn't on the money on some play. He was just slightly behind a couple times. That's why Terry McLaurin had some issues getting the ball. Because they were throwing slightly behind him sometimes, and he was blanketed by Lattimore. But, yeah, if it wasn't for our defense, if our defense was what it was last year, and even close to what it was last, like not even like, it's like, this is what I told someone on Twitter. Someone's like, Taylor Heinicke's the problem, and I told him, like, listen, Taylor Heinicke, yeah, he may be a problem. He might be something we have to solve in the offseason, but you can't solve it right now. So you're just whining and bitching and moaning about something that can't be solved right now. Whereas our defense there is no expectations for Taylor Heinicke. Let's just put it this way. Taylor Heinicke had no expectations this year. He was a undrafted quarterback that we signed to a 2-year extension or 2-year contract, and he was brought in to be a backup for Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's what he was. That's his expectation, and he is exceeding those expectations. For an undrafted guy who was just like an emergency quarterback last year in case someone got COVID, he's now the guy, and he's putting up good numbers. He's putting up decent numbers. He's putting up good enough numbers to win. For an undrafted guy, I think he's exceeding my expectations. Really is. But the thing is about our defense. Defense was expected to be like top 2. Let's not split hairs here. They're expected to be the best defense in the league, if not the second best. And they're one of the second worst right now. One of these second worst. It's one thing if our defense went from like second best to 10th. We probably have 2 more wins under our belt. We wouldn't have lost to the Chargers, and we wouldn't have lost this game here to the Saints. Okay, that's what I want people to kind of understand is you got to understand like where the problem here is. The problem here is a couple things wrong with this team. 1, the offensive coordinating sucks. 2, defensive, whether it's scheme or the overall defensive doesn't have continuity or whatever, sucks. And I'll say it again. Why the fuck do you draft or sign a lockdown man-to-man corner and have play zone? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. Doesn't make any sense. And you play man at the worst times. You play man at the worst fucking times. We played one play of man that I remember distinctly. The one play of man that I remember distinctly was like, I think it was a touchdown to Callaway. They ran 2 receivers and they run him underneath to the back corner of the end zone. And that's like the worst time to play man because everyone's locked up and I don't know who's guarding him. I think it was Fuller. Got caught up trying to get to his man through a bunch of people. Worst time to play man. The worst time to play man. Or you should at least bump him down. There's no communication there. It's just a lot of flaws with the defense, whether it's scheme, whether it's strategy. I don't think so much as personnel, but you can't really blame personnel whenever we invest fucking draft picks in people and they don't fucking play. Jamin Davis played 13 plays. Of 56 defensive plays, Jamin Davis played 13 of them. And he's a first-round pick. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's it. There's no reasoning for that. Why? If we're going to lose with the guys we drafted so they at least get experience. Benjamin St-Juste played 12 plays. He's probably one of our best corners. But we're not playing the guys we drafted. For some reason, Ron Rivera, and this is like, I'm not trying to get after Ron Rivera now. This is not the time of the place. It's a couple games in. He's still in the middle of a rebuild, so I'm not going to be like caught up in the moment. But I was reading some things where a lot of coaches and players were saying that after Sean McDermott left and a couple other things happened with the Carolina Panthers, that Ron made decisions that weren't great for the team, that he was like deciding to go with players he was loyal to instead of the best players, stuff like that. He was just not making great football decisions. And I don't know how true that is. I think people were just trying to plant seeds for doubt. But I can't not agree with that whenever you're playing guys, you're not playing guys that are good, that we've heard a lot about, we've signed in the offseason. And it's just, there's a lot of things that we're not doing. Like, how do you not watch our game film and actively say, Scott Turner, why are you not running the ball more? Or, hey, Jack, why are you playing so much zone right now? I mean, you're kind of negating William Jackson III's like abilities here. You're like kind of eliminating or canceling out his abilities by playing him in an area where he's not being successful. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand it at all. It's not working, so why don't you switch it up? 4 touchdown passes from 3 different quarterbacks this year. And Daniel Jones probably would have gone for 4 as well if it wouldn't have tripped, if it wasn't for a stupid holding penalty. And a guy dropping a pass. So that's 4 games where quarterbacks should have had 4 more touchdowns. Let's put it that way. And I'm pretty sure one of them was missed against the Bills. One of them might have been missed against the Bills. But seriously, how do you look at this team and say, "Oh, Taylor Heinicke's the problem"? No, he's a problem that can be solved, but he's not the immediate problem right now. The immediate problem right now is, I would say first, is the defense. Defense is not playing well at all. They played better this game. I'll give them that. They played better. They got off the quarterback a little bit. The defensive line played better. Let me rephrase that. The rest of the defense, not so much. And I just think Jameis Winston's not a good quarterback. That's part of it. He's not a great quarterback, so that's why the 15 incompletions are there. So, first thing, defensive line played better, but the first problem is the defense. Defense needs to get back to top 10 form. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, last year this happened where the defense was actually supposed to be pretty good. We started to see it all a little rocky, but then we found our rhythm. And then once we found our rhythm, we were pretty much good to go after that. It took us about to the middle of the season, so maybe it'll take us a couple more games and our defense gets the shit together. I don't know. This is a perfect team to do it. The Chiefs coming up, perfect time to get your shit together, so to speak. Second problem with this team is the offensive coordinating, in my opinion. That's the second problem with this team, is you have a top 5 offensive line. They're like one of the best run blocking lines in the league, and you're running the ball. You're not running the ball enough. You're really not. You're going to hear me complain about that until the end of the season. Is I don't think our offensive coordinator runs the ball enough. He ran the ball 33 times in this game. We dominated time possession. We just didn't capitalize on a couple things. But we did run the ball a lot in this game. I'll give them that. You got to also factor in that 5 of them were Taylor Heinicke, and they were not designed. Okay, the issue with offensive coordinating to me is, 1, it's not a commitment to the run. 2, it's not a commitment to doing things off the run. You're not using the run to set up the pass and the pass to set up the run. You're not doing any of those things. Like, I'll give this example. I give it all the time. The traditional thing to do on second and like short, like say on first down you run the ball, get 8 yards. The traditional thing to do one of your early drives in the game is take a shot deep. You take a shot deep, and either A, you're going to get it, so it's a touchdown, or B, you don't get it, but the defense understands, like, hey, when it's like this, they're going to take shots deep. So they don't blitz, they don't play deep, or they play deep, they don't blitz, and it opens up for shorter passes in the next couple of possessions. Or you can run the ball because they're not loading the box because they expect you to go deep. Okay? So that's how you set up your offense. And then that sets up in the future, like after like the first possession. Well, let's say they do that, hypothetically, and then, boom, they get a touchdown. Okay? So the next time that happens, next time it's like 2nd and 2, the defense is going to play deep. They're not going to blitz. They'll be expecting a deep pass. You can run the ball or run a short pass to get the first down conversion and move the sticks and sustain the drive later in games. That's what it does. That's what it does. And then when you run the ball, you have your first play, you run, and that action, the backfield action. In the future, after that, on first down, that same run action, but you play action, and you surprise them, and then you hit someone like with a crossing route or something, or a tight end leaking out that was supposed to be blocking you, that blocked on the last time you ran this type of play. And it sets that up. So the defense is off guard. They're off guard. You might catch them in a blitz when that happens, and then they get burnt because they get a big gain, and then it stops them from blitzing. It does. That's what good offensive coordinators do. They keep the defense so unbalanced that they don't think that the defense dictates what the offense doesn't dictate what the offense does. The offense dictates what the defense does. If you got the defense so unbalanced, they can't blitz. That's how the offense dictates the defense. And Scott Turner doesn't do that. He just doesn't do it. Jack Del Rio, I don't think is aggressive enough. I don't think he blitzes at all. I think he's relied on a strategy, and that strategy is we have 4 first-rounders. Pin our ears back, go to quarterback, stop the run, pin the ears back, go to the quarterback, and play zone, and basically buy time until our guys get to the quarterback. And that hasn't worked yet. And it worked kind of on Sunday, but not really. Okay, I'm off on a tangent here, so let's get back to the basics here. So Washington gave up, how many yards did they give up? They didn't give up 100 yards rushing. They gave up 98, and Jameis Winston had 26 of those. So we didn't really give up a lot rushing. I mean, Alvin Kamara played good, but we didn't give up a lot rushing. It's receiving that killed us. And some bum name, Calhoun, or Callaway, whatever his name was, that I've never heard of, made us look stupid. And, yeah, he really didn't pass very well in a couple plays. So I guess kudos there, but I'm not giving anyone kudos here. We lost to a team we should have beaten handily. Okay, so let's just talk about the offense real quick. Washington's offense. Taylor Heinicke, 20 for 41. That's less than 50%. I still don't think he played that bad. I mean, he could have played a lot worse, and he didn't. I think he gave us a chance. He moved the ball fairly decently. He had 250 yards passing. You don't get that on accident. Okay? And he didn't get a lot of that stuff in garbage time either. He had 200 points. He had 200 rushing or passing yards for the third quarter. Got sacked twice. Not really an issue. I think he got a little more pressure today than usual. That's because there's 2 injuries on the right side of the line. But I don't think he got like super pressured. Saints do have a very good defense, so maybe it was just giving him issues like reading. He did miss some touchdowns, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm gonna be fair. He did miss a touchdown on the first drive we had. He did miss a touchdown on the first drive. He might have missed one somewhere, another one somewhere else. I just think he's trying to he's just trying to get. We didn't have a lot of players we have. Like we had De'Ami Brown out, first round or draft pick this year. Speedster supposed to help our offense. We had Cam Sims out, though he's not like a huge target for Taylor Heinicke, he still makes the defense play honest because he's available. Logan Thomas is out right now. We're playing with backup tight ends. We even signed one instead of playing Sammis Reyes. We signed one to play. Ricky Seals-Jones actually played great. I got nothing to say about him. Curtis Samuel played, but I think he might have had one run, one play, and he hurt his hamstring again. Yay. Money spent on a player that can't stay on the field. God, this is so much Paul Richardson flashbacks right now. so Taylor Heinicke's not playing with a full deck, and I don't think he played the worst. I think he didn't play great, but I don't think he played the worst. And I don't think this loss can be put on his shoulders. Our defense doesn't give up 250 or 4 touchdowns. We don't win. Our defense just gives up 3 touchdowns, we have a chance. When we get the ball late, we have a chance. We have a chance to win. That's all I gotta say. And the reason why, what I want to make sure, I'm not really going to review the game. If I really want to review the game, I'll get on the computer and I can go. I want to do like a game film breakdown. That's what I really want to do. I don't have time to do it. But I want everyone to understand that, like, if you're one of these fans that after every game you're just complaining about our quarterback, like, grow up. That can't be fixed right now. Think about what we can fix now. Okay, unless you're just completely bailing on the season, then if that's what you're doing, then yeah, keep complaining about the quarterback. Okay, the problem that needs fixed now is the defense. If the defense played great and the quarterback sucked, like it did last year, completely different scenario. But I think our bigger issue right now is our defense is not living up to the expectations. Not even close. If they were like close to expectations, we'd probably at least have one more win. We'd at least have one more win, and it'd be against the Saints. But I think we'd have another win somewhere. I think we probably would have beat the Chargers opening day. You gotta understand that team's rolling right now, and we lost that game by 4 points. 4 points. So, yeah, if you are offended by my language, tough. Sorry. I'm very passionate about this team. I'm very passionate about these things, and like it's beyond frustrating to me how much, like, I need to just stay off Twitter, is like how much people just are complaining about the quarterback on a play-by-play basis when our defense is giving up all these things. Like, defense giving up 4 touchdowns to Jameis fucking Winston, and people are like, oh, that's Taylor Heinicke's fault. We lost. No, Taylor Heinicke, he's putting up enough points for us to win. He really is. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, just being honest. If we'd have had Taylor Heinicke start most of last year and putting up this kind of production, he's putting up about, let's see, the first game he put up 16, second game he put up like 32, or 31 maybe, 31, 32. Against the Bills, he put up 21. Against the team put up 21, let me rephrase that. Against the Atlanta Falcons, he put up 44. So, averaging, and then this game put up 22. He's averaged about 27, 28 points. That's enough to win games in the NFL. The worst game was the one game start. Every game since then, he's scored more than 20 points. Well, the offense he is running has scored more than 20 points. Let me rephrase that. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you. If you're still thinking he's the problem, that like I said, I'm not disagreeing that he's a problem. You know, he's not a franchise quarterback. He probably isn't a franchise quarterback. We really don't know yet. He doesn't even have a full season of sample size. That's the thing. He doesn't have a full season for us to actually gauge a full season and see like what you can do with a 17, 16 game season or whatever. We really don't have that. We have to play him from now to the rest of the season, and we have a pretty good gauge for what he is. I think he's a slightly better version than Kirk Cousins. And what I mean by that is Kirk Cousins would always take the safe route so his numbers look good. He was always concerned about the results of the game, his numbers, rather than the process of them. And what I mean by the results and process. So, results, okay, so let's just say Kirk Cousins would throw for 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. It's not a bad output. Or 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Okay, he threw the 1 pick in the first half. He got 1 touchdown in the first half. He got nothing else until like the last fourth quarter when we were down by 30 points, and he gets 2 more touchdowns and another 150 yards stacked onto his stats stacked onto his stats. So what would have been if the game would have ended in the third quarter, he'd have been 1 touchdown and 1 interception for like 150 yards and like 50% completion percentage. At the end of the game, even though we still lost by 10 points or something, Kirk would still would get another 100 yards, 150 yards passing in garbage time and maybe 2 touchdowns to make it look like he did his job. That's not the case at all. And a lot of people who are Kirk fans look at that like, oh, look at the end result. Look at those numbers. Like, no, it's results. It's how it happened. How do you get to this point? And that's what my concern was always with Kirk Cousins, is he thinks that he's looking at the end result of his numbers and not understanding the process. If you get 300 passing yards and you're like to the first and third quarter and 3 touchdowns with 1 pick, yeah, you're the reason we won. But if you're not and you're getting those things late, there's a narrative behind that. And that's where I didn't like Kirk, because he played a narrative. The narrative was, my stats were good, you can't blame me. No, your stats were bad until the other team basically, gave you all the cushion in the world to get whatever you wanted. And that's where I don't like Kirk Cousins. I don't think Taylor Heinicke has that mentality. Taylor Heinicke has that mentality. Try to score now. The one downside of flaw is I think he tries to score in every possession sometimes. He doesn't take the check down, doesn't take the easy read. Like, for example, the first pick he threw, where he should have gone back shoulder or back pylon and lead his receiver, which the guy had a step, so he definitely had that. He just underthrew it, and on that play he could have checked down and got a first down and moved the sticks. So there's 2 other options he could have had on that play, and he threw the interception. One is throw it deeper in the end zone, lead your receiver back of the corner end zone, touchdown. And and he didn't do that. And the other option was check down, and third option was underthrow your receiver completely. And that's what happened. And honestly, though, I will say I think it looks like he had a little velocity off of his throws this week. I don't know why. I don't know. It just seemed like it. Maybe it just looks like it on TV, and maybe it just seemed like he had a little bit of velocity off his throws this week. But I'm not going to get too much into it anymore. The long and the short of it is Washington's defense needs to come to play. Needs to get better. And I personally think that's why we're having issues. I don't think Taylor Heinicke is the problem. I don't think he's the long-term solution. I don't believe that yet. But I think he is good enough that with this team we can win and still win our division, get to the playoffs. If our defense is good. If our defense is bad, you can't rely on... He's not good enough to win games by himself. That's the best way to put it. And what everyone wants is what every fan wants. What every fan wants is not have to rely on him, not have to rely on not have to blame the defense, and have to blame our 4 first-round picks we've invested, and millions of dollars that we've invested in two good cornerbacks, and millions of dollars invested in Landon Collins, and first-round draft pick invested in Jamin Davis. They don't want to look at those things and say, why are those things not doing well? They're way higher picks. We have an undrafted quarterback, a 3rd-round receiver, a 2nd-round running back, a 6th-round center. We have a refurbished, fixed Eric Flowers at left tackle or left guard. We have a scrap picked up off another team in Charles Leno at left tackle. At right guard, we've had an all-pro guy. I'll give you that one. And then the rest of the receiving weapons are pretty much undrafted after Terry McLaurin. Or they're drafted like way late in the draft. Or they're not even on the field. So let's talk. That's not the conversation we want to have. We want to blame the quarterback and not point the real fingers at the defense, where everyone loves Chase Young. And I have nothing against Chase Young. I think he's a fantastic player, and I'm glad he's on my team. But the fact that everyone wants to deflect away from that because everyone was clamoring for Chase Young, when really in hindsight, everyone's going to realize we should have taken Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert's the real deal. And everyone wants to not point the fingers at that discussion. They want to point the fingers at Taylor Heinicke and say, that 6th-round undrafted player is the real problem here, not the guys we've invested time, money, a lot of energy into. So I've gone on a tangent for 34 minutes. I'm not going to go on the tangent anymore. I'm done. And I'll have a preview for the Chiefs, which I think is a winnable game, the way their defense is playing, the way Patrick Mahomes turns the ball over. We got a chance. That's all I'm saying. We got a chance, and their offensive line's not that great. So thanks for listening. This has been the Washington Football Report. Hail to the Redskins. See ya.